Hello and welcome to The Hunt, a D&D 5e adventure set in a dark fantasy version of the 16th century witch trials of England. The largest witch hunt in all of history, but I don't think it gets spoken about enough. With that being said, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Matt, your humble game master for this adventure. And one by one, I am going to allow the players to introduce themselves, and I'm going to ask them one random question each. So that's going to start with the handsome and, dare I say, iridescent Charlie.
Okay, iridescent. They were like puddles of petrol.
Yeah. When have you ever looked at like petrol flowing into water and gone, God, that's ugly?
Only when I've been swimming in the water.
Then you light up afterwards.
Yeah. And I'm nervous. So hi, I'm Charlie. I play Dickie. Dickie is a ranger. They are of the Fae, but they have been excommunicated from the Fae realm. Oh, you had a question about Dickie.
When Dickie dreams, what does he dream about? What do they dream about? Sorry.
Dickie dreams about different food combinations. It could be something sweet with something savory, something spicy, and sometimes, but never tree nuts, because Dickie is actually allergic to tree nuts. So he doesn't dream about them because he just doesn't know what they taste like. And he dreams it.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but if he doesn't know what they taste like, how does he know that he's allergic to them? How do they know?
Because one time, they were stood in a place where like walnuts were growing, and they got a rash, and so they assume that it was the tree nuts. It may have been actual bug bites, but because they don't have EpiPens in the 16th century, probably best to just avoid the nuts altogether. And
safety first, and I cannot stress this enough to safety. All of our viewers.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlie. Now I'm going to pass over to the handsome and, dare I say, iridescent Connor.
Hey. Connor. I'm playing Nycholas. He's a paladin, and his race is little funky hobgoblin man.
He has got
influence by the Fae.
And question for you, because obviously Nycholas was born human. At what point did he find himself becoming a bit more goblinoid?
That was probably happened in like different little spurts.
Gross.
Probably with there was probably some bits that happened before becoming witch hunter, some bits that happened during, some bits that probably happened in the first session, but probably the first one was like quite young.
Okay, so he has always been a little bit different, and you mentioned that he was a witch hunter. I'm going to assume that he's not still a witch hunter now, for those who are watching us for the first time.
No, he woke up one day and went, maybe killing people that don't deserve it is a bad thing. So he stopped.
Imagine if, like, so many people in our world today woke up and had that thought.
It's such a hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot takes.
Life changing, I might say.
Killing people is bad, right? And you can put me on blast. I'm not afraid to say it.
I don't know if we can be part of this game anymore if this is
It's cancelled in the second stream.
Cool. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Connor. Let's pass over to the handsome and, you know what, dare I say, iridescent Kelly.
Oh, well,
Ollie
I
just
am
looks like he's
actually
quit.
playing a character named Lady Violet of House Russell, and she is a changeling. So she may change name, appearance on any given occasion. And she is a noble lady. She ran away from a wedding last week. We'll find out what she's up to today.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, about noble weddings back in the 16th and 17th century, they didn't marry for love. It was more like selling of people who they viewed as property. And as we know from the history books, that women were often viewed as property. And hot take number 2, I know we're only like 5 minutes into the stream, but hot take number 2, people aren't property.
Whoa.
Wow.
Damn it, I better release those men in my basement.
Oh.
No, they deserve it. They deserve it.
Okay.
As long as you're not killing them and you're not claiming ownership of them, then we're fine. That's the 2 points covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just if I don't unlock the door, that's okay.
Okay, so question for Lady Violet then. In a hypothetical that she's just been given 1,000 gold pieces, what is top of Lady Violet's shopping spree?
Oh, that's a really good question. Because this is the thing, is that like I imagine in the 16th century women weren't allowed a bank account either, or control of their own money. So I imagine the novelty would be quite fresh. I think I would want to go shopping, perhaps, maybe buy everyone dinner, go to a pub, and buy everyone a flagon of ale, and maybe change shape and pretend that I'm one of the lads, and it'll be good fun.
It'd be like that shopping scene in Pretty Woman. It's like,
Hey lady, you just missed out on so much commission. Like that. It's okay, so basically what you just said is, if I gave you 1,000 gold pieces, what would you spend it on? And he's like, food for my friends. It's like, okay, working class queen.
Redistribute the gold pieces.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And last, but by certainly no means least, we have the incredibly handsome and, dare I say, iridescent Ollie.
Hello, I'm Ollie. I'm playing Elaris Vael. I'm a warlock who's spending quite a lot of his time now hiding away in the forest, keeping away from the persecution of the witch hunters. And I spent quite a lot of time fishing, writing down notes and collecting small herbs and mushrooms and various things for my own sort of herbology research.
Ooh, good use of herbology, by the way.
I'm
So,
quite
Elaris
like,
Vael, I think, given to use the parlance of the day, Elaris Vael is what would be known as a cunning man, which
he would be.
Which doesn't necessarily mean you're particularly cunning. It just meant that you did magic-y stuff. But because you're a man, you're less likely to be hanged for it.
Although, last session, I was definitely on the wrong end of the rope. I think.
Less likely, but it's not impossible.
No.
Sorry, I've come in to this stream on full like soapbox mode. I'm
history mode.
History soapbox. Hey guys, there were some injustices in history, and that's not cool.
Bad.
Hot take number 3. Injustice is
hey
bad.
guys, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes things were bad.
Okay, so question for Elaris Vael then. Spent a lot of time in the forest, spent a lot of time presumably being surrounded by animals. Is there any animal that Elaris Vael hates? Like, they just annoy him?
He's not the biggest fan of snakes. They're like weird. They're wiggly. Why have they got no arms and legs? You know, I don't get it. They're like a big worm, but scarier. Like, I just don't understand. I don't know. I don't like them. You can stay away from me.
So when the old man who you rescued revealed himself to be Carnana, he was holding two things when he transformed. He was holding a staff in one hand and a snake in the other. What was Elaris's first thought at seeing the large snake in his hand?
Well, I mean, at the time, he sort of, you know, he just followed this guy away from the gallows and was like, "Oh, it must have something good going on." And then he sees the snake and he's like, "Now I'm suspicious. You've got one of the evil little danger noodles, and my
Presumably, but like,
current-
what's a noodle?
a danger." Like, I can't even say pasta. That doesn't work either, does it? Danger spaghetti.
A danger
danger
mandolin
turnip.
string.
We only had turnips here.
The good old nope rope.
Thank you for that, Ollie, and thank you for that deep insight into the inner merkin?
The inner
My
merkin.
Merkins. Oh no.
The inner workings of a cunning folk. So, where we last left our team, you have been granted the boon of Carnana, thus bumping you up from level 1 all the way up to level 5. You are currently still in the forest. Everything has died down. Whatever magics Carnana has used to keep himself hidden is at play here. So, aside from everything feeling a little bit off kilter, a little bit uncanny, it also feels homely. So, Carnana is sat there. He has got a small knife and a lump of wood and is currently just whittling. This presumably is the first time that the four of you have found some kind of peace and some kind of calm and quiet. So it's the first time you're really able to interact with each other outside of the gallows and fearing for your own life. Before, where it was necessary to talk to each other so you could plan your escape and help each other, gain your gear back. Now, you're just sat on a clear, beautiful night looking up at the sky, and the stars are twinkling brighter than you've ever seen them. But as far as you're concerned, around you are 3 strangers who, aside from sharing the gallows with you, you have nothing in common with. What's the first thing that's going to happen?
I think I'm going to start putting on my armor, at least.
That's a 10-minute job.
It is. That's why I got to put it on first. Because if everyone's like, okay, let's leave, and it's like, nah, I need to take 10 minutes. Just
Tell you
give
what,
me
I'm
a bit.
happy for you to do that, but just for flavour. So this isn't going to affect like the story in any way. But could I please ask for you, with your level 5 character, to make a dexterity check for me?
This is going to
Okay.
be like the world's slowest magical girl transformation.
Hey, I rolled a
Someone's
number.
probably not to know.
Okay, so you rolled a 15. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a paladin as well. So
Yeah.
while there's a couple of clanks and like you can hear the straps tying up and the chainmail sort of resting on your body, it's not like enough to distract everyone. It's still a fairly slow magical girl transformation, but it's not enough that like no one's really watching you do it. They're just, okay, the paladin's putting on he's finally getting dressed. The rest of us have been dressed for ages, and he's just been walking around in his pajamas. Like it was an elephant in the room that has now been dealt with, and everyone's just a little bit relieved at the fact that you're no longer just sat in the forest wearing the rags that you were previously wearing. Elaris, Dickie, and Violet. This is obviously a world that you are all familiar with, but not to this degree. Surely, I mean, the fact that the least bothered by it is Nycholas is just getting dressed. Those of you with a bit of knowledge into the Fey realms, what would be going through your mind? What would your next action be?
I think for Dickie has a bit of a fascination with shapeshifters, because they were always the most fun to hang out with. In like the fairy realm, they're kind of the ones that would do the best practical jokes. So I think Dickie would be kind of fascinated by Lady Violet and like going in and out of her eye line to see if she's going to change, see if anything's going to change, and
Just
see
Lady
if...
Violet minding her own business and just
Yeah.
periodically just Dickie.
Yeah, I
just
think
like, dipping into view.
Violet's just staring up at the sky because she's probably not actually been allowed outside for very long on her own, I imagine. Being a noble of sorts, she would have always had to have some sort of protection or courtier around. So I think she's in her natural changeling form and just wondering why there's so many stars in the sky and why, like, what like whether it always looks like that.
That's
And then
sorry, I was just going to say that's the genealogy of man right there. It's one person like, wow, the universe is truly beautiful and I will never truly understand all of it. One of them is like, I wonder if I look at them long enough, if I can.
and I think out of the corner of my eye, I'm going to see Dickie do like look at me and be like, do you want me to do the thing?
You do the thing, please do the thing. It's
And I just
can you-
going to turn
can you see
around
anyone?
and yes, I suppose I can. And she's kind of a little bit uptight because that's how she's always had to be a little bit. But she kind of just faces Dickie, gives him a look up and down, and then again adjusts her posture, and she looks like Dickie.
Oh my god, you're me.
Yes.
This is
Now
so
do you see how
cool.
silly you look? And then I immediately,
I look so handsome. And then I start
iridescent.
doing the thing like to try and get you to do the same movements as me and like to be like my mirror, my man in the mirror. Just...
look, I don't really know what you're expecting me to do.
do the thing. And then we can be a double act, and then we can be best friends forever.
Okay. If you say so.
We're gonna be best friends.
So, something that's interesting that you said that Dickie would say he would love hanging out with the changelings because they had the best practical jokes. Now, changelings historically in British folklore would be a baby that was stolen from its family and swapped with a fae who would change to look like that child and then grow up as that child until they reached a certain age, and then they'll go, haha, surprise, it was me the whole time. Is that what Dickie considers a practical joke? Is that like the best practical joke? It's like, hey, what if we stole?
Yeah. It's like a longest form practical joke. Because, obviously Dickie has quite a warped sense of humor. So they just kind of consider that they're just playing a long game. They're just, because time has no, like, there are no time frames. So to use a whole human lifespan to do one really funny practical joke seems totally worth it. And that's hilarious.
That's the payoff.
Yeah.
But speaking of the changeling in history, how it's been perceived, Lady Violet has, as far as you've been aware, like changelings always know that they're changelings, whereas Lady Violet found that out quite slowly as they were growing up, and they grew up with a brother, and they've always been like a bit different from everyone. So does Lady Violet have any theories as to where she came from, or if something else is afoot here?
Well, I think my general knowledge of how she came to know was that at some point around her second birthday, at the point when kids all of a sudden become conscious and kind of develop a personality, it's her being hurried away by her mother and telling her not to do that again around other people. And she just knows her brother can't do it. But her,
Loser.
and her, because it's, I know, bit of an idiot really, isn't he? But I think they get on like a house on fire. I think they are two peas in a pod in that sense. So I suspect that I think she would know that her mother obviously knew of it and that her mother was also a changeling, but she doesn't know perhaps how her mother came into that whole situation.
Okay. I think it's interesting. So we've got Nycholas, who is getting himself ready for whatever battle is about to come, whatever mission he's going to be sent on. We've got Dickie and Violet forming a bond that already is setting the world ablaze. It is lukewarm indifference from one side and burning hot fascination from the other. And if that's not how all the best relationships start, I don't know what is.
Black cat and golden retriever trope.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be on the golden retriever side for once because I'm always the black cat. So this is like the most immersive role play. I'm like, wow, is this what it's like being happy?
What do you mean? I thought I was the dark and brooding one.
Okay. You're wearing a Mothman vest and an alien cardigan. You are the most whimsical.
Hey, Mothman and Alien are scary, like me, because I'm dark and brooding.
Yeah, totally.
What is Elaris' take on the whole thing? So, where does he think he is? What does he think comes next?
I assume, I've got all my stuff on at this point. I sort of take out a small book that I've got in my pocket where I've been writing down notes and things, looking around and kind of comparing the local flora and fauna and going, these are not what I recognize from where I'm from. I may just sort of look up at Carnina and just sort of look at him. And did you say he was hunched over? Is he facing away from us, or is he facing towards?
He's sideways on from you. You can see what he's doing. You can see that he's whittling. I tell you what, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Oh, I can.
With a 10, you can see, you can't really understand his motives or why he's whittling. You can just see that he is whittling something. As far as you're concerned, you can just see Dickie twice, but one version of him's doing this, and the other version of him is very half-heartedly just sort of flipping up one hand and then just eventually just folding their arms.
I'll sort of look over at him and just Carnina and sort of go, what is this place? This doesn't... We were just in a small town and now we're here. How did we get here from there?
So Carnina, still whittling, you see a wry smile fill half of his face as he throws his knife, only to have it spin and land perfectly dead center in a tree that's maybe the other side of this encampment. And he places his newly whittled figure on the floor, just next to where he's been sat, pointing it towards you. And he turns and looks at, I was wondering how long it would take before someone asked the important question. We are still very much in cold water of sorts. Obviously, this is the place between realms. We are not quite in the Fey wilds that some of you may be more accustomed to, nor is it entirely the world of the single lives. He kind of gestures towards Nycholas, who presumably is butthurt by the whole... Dude, I'm just here. Yes, there are many things that you are uniquely suited to deal with. Tell me, why did you follow me from the gallows?
Well, I was looking around and all I saw was guards and people, and seemed sort of woefully unprepared for a fight at that point. And you seem pretty spry for the sort of, from what it seemed like your age at the time. And you seem to know you got a quick exit from our situation. And I thought, well, it's either back to the gallows or over this way after kind of what I did to that guy's face.
So as you
Probably
say
gonna
that,
not.
he picks up the figure that he has been whittling and holds it tightly in his hand. In his other hand, reaches into his hood, pulls out something, and then hands it towards you. As you see what he's holding, it's a bright red rose. Consider the machinations of nature itself. A rose is truly beautiful. And it has a beautiful smell. It is soft on one's skin. It is delightful to every sense. And yet, through its very nature and its necessity to survive, it has grown sharp thorns. Do the thorns detract from the beauty of the rose itself?
I'll sort of look at him and go look at the thorn and sort of look around and go and think to myself and then say back to him, I think all things that grow throughout their life have to develop their own forms of defense against the outside worlds in some way. The rose has its thorns. I have my reclusive nature of hiding away.
And yet you were willing to forego that reclusive nature and join us here for your own safety, thus creating a new beautiful flower. As he says that, he takes what he was whittling and rests it on a log in the center of your encampment, so you can now all see it clearly. It appears to be a insanely well sculpted figurine of a dog. Like, he'd only been whittling for maybe an hour or two, but this looks like the hand of a master craftsman. You can see every tooth, every sharp fang, every streak of fur running down its body, and you can see that the tail is almost billowing up like smoke, yet still carved in a very soft wood. There is your first mission, if you are willing. As I have mentioned previously, that the world is not at balance, and the One Lives have been trying to usher in their own age by snubbing out that which came before. If you are interested still, allow me to tell you the story. He looks dead in the eye at Dickie. Of the dogs of the hunt.
I think immediately Dickie is nervous because they've had a lot of experience with the dogs of the hunt and knows that they are the most like revered and feared and respected. Like, he's excited to see them again because they were, they're still doggos. They're still dogs. They're still fun. So yeah, Dickie stops doing mirror versions with Lady Vael. Immediately drops down and just kind of like a kid that's been told off, kind of just makes themselves quite small.
So the dogs of the hunt, their fury of hell and their warmth of the heavens, have been going awry recently. Those One Lives amongst you, he looks purely at Nycholas, may have heard stories of the black dogs that roam the forest and kill and Our friend Dickie here will tell you that they never kill unless they're ordered to. And yet, somehow, a place that the humans have deemed safe has come under attack from one of the largest of the dogs. This does not bode well, as it means someone is going outside of Hurler's divine graces. A human has obtained that which can control the dog, and once the humans start meddling in powers that are not theirs to begin with, the rest will fall into place like a tree in the forest. As soon as one catches fire, the fire shall spread. Do you wish to ebb the fire?
What exactly is this thing that these humans have?
Can you please make an Arcana check?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh
so
dear.
with a 7, you can remember whenever you were taken to sup with the family of your future in-laws, and while they said you were there to sup with them, old-timey word for having dinner, by the way, for anyone who isn't sure what I'm...
I was about to ask, because I thought you said suck. I was like, what are you all sucking?
Not until they are married.
I was going to say, I was like, that's
This was a
not
very
rude
different meeting.
activity.
They
Yeah.
give sup with a P.
Like supper.
Like, yeah, they have supper, so you come sup with us. That's what they would say.
I mean, I'm glad we don't use that anymore.
Yeah.
Just, yo, I'm hungry. You want to sup at a cheeky Nando's?
That's not a text you want us to receive on a Friday night. Just like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to get some
Sup, bro? Yeah, I could eat. These meetings were very much for Violet to be paraded in front of her would-be husband. And it was obviously an uncomfortable affair, every single aspect being scrutinized to see if you would carry the family line of the Redmonds to all its profound glory that they surely deserved. While you were there, though, you did notice that Lord Redmond himself had multiple books on esoterica, where and on one of them you did see he was perusing pages that seemed to have dogs on the pages, but beyond that, you can't bring anything more to your mind. Carnena smiles at you, like almost knowingly, and then turns to Dickie. It's like, Dickie, would you care to enlighten us?
So Hurler has a leash. Why did you make her face as soon as I said Hurler? You were just like,
I
He's about to hurl her.
ah. I was like, are you okay? You just
No,
really-
I was thinking.
Oh, I often get your nauseous face and your thinking face confused.
That's because thinking makes me sick.
Oh, okay. So Hurler has a leash that he uses for the dogs, but he doesn't tend to need to use it because he's super powerful, and but he always has it on him. So if it isn't Hurler controlling these dogs, then it will be the leash, because that's the only thing that it could possibly be.
So it's not the mystical squeaky toy.
I don't believe so, no.
If I'd thought of that sooner, then yeah, that's what it would be. But no, you're stuck with a leash. Carnena smiles and like, yes, thank you for that very astute description, Dicenzio. He's trying like fun nicknames to make it seem more human, but he hasn't quite got his like finger on the pulse yet. He's thousands of years old. It's like when we do the 6-7 thing in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Like just makes
Hey,
their
like-
eyes roll. Hurler, as you know, has found himself in my employ as of late, so I can vouch that he has not turned his own dogs against the humans ahead of time. If someone else is using this leash, then it does not bode well for any and all worlds. I need that leash reclaimed and taken to its rightful owner, or all the One Lives shall die. And if you remember from the last session that the One Lives is what... It's almost like a fairy slur for...
I was going to say it sounds like a slur.
It's almost like a fairy slur for non-fae. Like, so, it's like, the thing that they think is, like, lame is that, oh, you only get to live once. Stupid.
They laugh at your YOLO.
So if we've got to reclaim this leash and return it, do we need to return it to you, or do we need to return it to Hurler?
Procure the leash, and the rest shall fall into place.
Okay.
Elaris, can you please make a history check with advantage for me?
Okay. Three boys.
Nat 20, baby! Brr, 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 brr. So this falls into very recent history. That there's something that you remember Puck telling you twice in your conversation with him. That Fae tell their stories backwards. And Carnena is king of the Fae, or at least king of this Fae person who is king of whatever realm he is currently in, would probably share a similar ability of kind of like the most analog foresight you can imagine. Like, because they tell stories backwards, everything he has already happened for him. So if he's being vague and cryptic, it means he probably knows what's going to happen anyway. He's more in a position of setting up the chess pieces as opposed to playing the game himself.
I do have a bit of a question.
Ah, the former enemy. Please, what is on your mind?
Just a little bit of the phrasing that was used is a little concerning. So what
Are
do you
you
mean?
referring to when I said the One Lives shall die?
More of the fact that the dogs are being sicked on them too early.
Yes, how silly of me. It's of course. Dickie can explain the Wild Hunt, and I forget that you One Lives are often so narrow in your interpretations. The dogs come for all One Lives at the end of their story. Yet the ones who are being taken are merely on the earliest chapters of their quest. Can you please make an insight check for me, please, Nycholas?
Yeah, I can try. Let's see if I roll a number. I do.
Oh,
I also rolled
Back to back.
Nice.
Oh, it's two nat 20. So this happened last session as well. I would like to point out that we had a couple of nat 20s early on. It was Ollie and Kelly, and then Connor and Charlie suffered for it.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I'm still on the losing team. I'm still doing that one.
That first
I
attack roll
want that
was-
to be wrong. I want everyone to get nat 20s. That's, you know,
I think that ones are funnier though.
nat 1s are funnier, but nat 20s
Yeah.
make my job so much easier.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind getting the nat ones. Because I'm like, yeah, I'll be the fool.
Yeah, he
it's
can work for it. He
fine.
can bloody work for his storytelling.
Yeah.
Oh, his little story he's got running. So, when you talk to Carnena, you do completely understand what he means, and you have heard tale of the Wild Hunt. Obviously, as part of the Witch Hunt, you would know quite a lot of the folk tales and urban, I suppose at this point they would be considered urban legends. The urban legends that are told from town to town that most of the time gets attributed to innocent people who have been called witches. You also understand that he is working on some kind of a plan, but based on everything else that he's said regarding the rose and regarding what Cordelia told you previously, this seems to be more a battle of reclamation than it is of a violent conflict itself. It's making sure that the humans are no longer encroaching into their territory. It seems to be much more in line with what he was saying about the rose and what Elaris was saying about seclusion and remaining beautiful by protecting oneself. Everything is defensive at this point.
Well, thanks for explaining it to this one life.
When you feel ready, head south and the path shall open before you. He picks up his little dog that he's made, very spryly tosses it in the air towards Nycholas, who... Can you make a sleight of hand check, please, Nycholas?
Oh, I certainly can.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Is this going to be a number? Or am I going to break the streak?
Oh,
Oh,
it's
Oh.
it hits in the face.
a 2. Okay, so with a 2, you hold up your hands like ready to catch it, and it just goes straight by and hits you in the face. You don't know if that is a fair folk way of telling you to really just pay attention to what is going on now, or if it is just your own poor attempt to catch. But either way, you've just been hit in the face with a tiny wooden dog, and you're embarrassed. All of your new friends have seen it. You've tried so hard to catch it and be involved, and ultimately, you're embarrassed, dude.
It's all
Oh, almost hit my eye. Oh, no.
All that armor, and the one thing you didn't cover was your face.
Okay, and with that, Carnena does a little wave and walks into a clearing just outside of the encampment. Eagle-eyed adventurers amongst you will notice that while he walks in that direction, he just ceases to be there anymore. He vanishes, not like as if he's misted away, or he's just 1 minute he's there, 1 minute he's not, and your brains can't quite process the fact that he's not there anymore. But either way, he's definitely gone, leaving the 4 of you in each other's company for the first time since this campaign started.
I am Elaris Vael. This is the first time other than seeing that many people on the gallows, this is the first time I've seen, well, this amount of people in a long time. Sounds like we've got a strange adventure ahead.
This is where you currently are, and all he has advised is for you to go south, which may take you towards places like Thalherm, where Nycholas, at the very least, has been before, but that's the only information he gave you. As quickly as Carnena disappears, you look up at the sky once more and you can hear birds singing. You can hear horses cantering just outside of the patch of woods that you're currently in. Everything seems less ethereal and clearer, as if to suggest, tell what, someone please make an Arcana check and you can tell me what it suggests.
I'll roll it. That's 4. So Here it comes, a wiggly woo.
Oh, very nice.
Oh.
Very,
Ooh.
very nice.
Oh,
Not a 20,
lovely.
but a 19 's still pretty darn good.
That's pretty good.
So that's 23 in total. You look around and you see fauna and flora that is so much more familiar to you than what you have seen before. You recognize the clovers growing, and you can see them starting to bloom into their flowers. You can smell the fern trees that are surrounding you, and you can see various insects moving around that you are very familiar with. The birds singing is like the #1 song on your personal radio. You know it very, very well. That tells you that you are back in the land of the One Lives, or the world that some of you were born in. That also means that there are people around, and you are still possibly wanted. After all, you have escaped your own execution. You do see one thing that's slightly out of place, Elaris. Because this time of year, you wouldn't expect to see one of these, especially not right in between your feet, as if you wouldn't have noticed it before. Is a single rose that is growing out of the ground. Which again is weird because they grow on bushes.
That's true.
I was gonna say.
It's just
Yeah, that's out of season, on its own, completely new way of growing.
yeah, I'll sort of lean down and kind of look at it and to try and see if it was the same rose as the one that Carnana had, and sort of place my hand on it to see if it's like attached to the ground. I give it the gentlest of tugs to see if it's attached, and if it's not, I'll sort of pick it up and look at it and see.
As you pluck it, like give it the gentlest of plucks, the stem doesn't break, and as you pull it up, a single root is attached to the bottom of it. It
Oh no.
curls up into a tiny spiral back up into the stem, and the rose doesn't so much wilt as it does lean forward in your direction. It's almost another one of those Fey jokes that you haven't quite brought yourself to understand yet. That it is Carnana giving you a little wink, a little nudge, a little pat on the back, saying it's definitely a nod of approval from something much more powerful and otherworldly than yourself.
I'll sort of look at it and look at everyone and say, I think we should keep this on us for now. Maybe this is some kind of protection, or almost, with the thorns and all. And I open a little pouch and carefully place it inside, and sort of close it down to look around and say to everyone, we should definitely be more careful here. It seems to be that we're back in, we're no longer in the sort of Fey realm or Fey area. People are going to be around, and after what happened yesterday-ish,
As far as you know,
They
it
could
is
still be
yesterday, yeah.
they could still be looking for us. I think we should try and keep to the forest as best we can and avoid the paths.
Tell you what, you raised an interesting point. I think this is something best handled by the ranger. Could you please make a nature check for me?
I would love to.
Okay, so that's 17.
That was close though.
I was like, oh.
It was to a 1.
It's like it's teasing you a little bit.
It's like
Is
I'm
that all?
here.
Or
I think Charlie is a one life in that in their entire life they predominantly roll ones. So with a 17, you look at the sun in the sky, you see the world differently because obviously everything's kind of brand new to you. So you maybe notice things that someone who has grown up with them wouldn't notice, which would account for the other 3 members of your party. Based on the direction that the sun's setting and the wind and how it's moving and how all the people you can hear are talking in terms of changing of seasons and everything like that, you can surmise that it's been about 3 to 4 weeks since your execution.
Okay.
And obviously as a Fae, you would be less surprised at that fact than maybe Nycholas, Violet, and Elaris, because you know that time moves very differently. It's a bit more wibbly wobbly once you step through the barrier.
So I'm gonna tell everyone that, you know, some time's passed. About a moon has passed. Well, I think we should at least start heading south. I do also have the ability to speak with animals, so maybe I could ask some of the forest dwellers of the furry kind to see if they've seen any big dogs, big scary dogs.
See, Kelly's smiling, and I know exactly why Kelly's smiling, because she knows that I'm going to have to roleplay this.
Yes, you are.
Okay, can you please make a...
Or it's a spell, so do you want me to just...
Yeah, but there needs to be an animal nearby.
Roll for animal.
Yeah, so I guess this would be a nature check. Can you see any animals?
Please be a good animal. Please be a good animal.
Sat just crawling towards you, almost as if reading your intentions, is a small snail.
A snail.
A snail.
Snail.
Oh,
Fantastic. That's good. I'm kind of thrilled with that. Okay. So I go up to the little snail. Hello, snail friend.
One eye pops out of its head and turns in your direction. Oh, hello.
Can I ask you a question?
It would be my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Have you seen any really, 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 really big doggies around here and that are maybe not behaving very nicely?
Aside from the truffle hunting dogs that sometimes try to eat me, not really.
Really? Okay.
I did hear stories
Okay.
about a town south from here
Okay.
called Blytheborough.
Blytheborough?
Blytheborough.
Okay.
And in Blytheborough,
Yeah.
they said they had a devil.
A devil.
Hound.
Oh dear. A devil hound. Yes, that's worse. I can see
I
how that's
heard
worse.
the birds talk
Yes,
about it.
I see.
It took a while for me to understand the birds
Yes.
because they talk quickly
They do.
and I couldn't keep up.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay.
You surmise that a bird talking speed is probably just normal talking speed, and
But to the
You're
slug,
wishing that
the
that is
snail,
a
sorry.
bird that you spoke to, not this snail.
Okay. So I didn't catch your name. Do you have a name?
Yes. My name is Sir Bastian
Sebastian. Right, gotcha.
of
Oh, okay. That's more.
Riverbrook.
Riverbrook.
Fourth of his name
Yeah,
in the line
in the line.
of Riverbrook.
Okay. Can I call you Sebastian?
Please, Sebastian was my father.
Oh,
Call me Baz.
Baz. Okay, Baz. Can I just want to thank you so much for your help. You've been so helpful and so brave. Can I give you a lift anywhere? Maybe if you're going somewhere special, I could probably get you there faster.
I truly appreciate the offer, but it is snail mating season,
Oh.
and if I stray too far from this current area,
Okay.
I will have to start trawling for slimmies
Oh.
all over again.
Okay.
Baz
Ba-
has the horn.
Okay.
As he says that, his little snail eyes just look and they sort of wiggle up at you. Like he hasn't got eyebrows, but you know that if he did, you know exactly what those eyebrows would be doing.
Well, good luck with the mating. I'm sure you'll find a very nice snail friend to settle down with.
No settling down for Baz.
Okay.
Live fast. Die young.
Oh. Okay. Well, you go get some.
Hey, before you go, answer one question
Yep.
for
Oh, sorry.
me.
Yes, of course.
What comes before part B? That's right. Part A.
Party, yes. It's been really cool meeting you, Baz. You're the coolest snail I've ever met. And what Dickie's gonna do is like gather up some moss and some like nice flowers and leaves and kind of make like a little like pussy palace for you. This is for you and your snail lady friend. Best of luck
Slimmies.
for his slimmies. Good luck, and thank you so much for your help. Bye.
The dirty.
Yes. Bye-bye. I just quickly turn around to the group and just like...
Yeah,
This
we're just like
guy.
looking at you confused, just like,
Because no one else could hear what Baz was saying.
Yeah,
I'm just like looking at Dickie, being like, "What is going on right now?"
And
That
can you
snail was
speak
the...
to animals.
The snail was the horniest dude I've ever met. He's so gross, but like, yeah, it's really helpful. There's a village just down the way. We should go there.
So
And
you
the snail
start.
told you that.
Yeah, I mean, in between some genuinely disgusting things and some jokes. But yeah, no, it was actually super helpful. Just a bit of a perv.
And the snails still understand you?
Well, I mean, I hope not. But if even if he does understand me, I'm much faster than him, so we should probably go soon, just in case.
As you look round at the little shell, the little snail pussy palace, to use your exact phrase,
Yeah, I believe Lily Allen coined it. I'm just stealing it.
solidarity with Lily. Hot take number 5. Don't be mean to your partner.
Oh, you with the hot takes.
So many.
Might not even be the right number of hot takes, but as you have a quick look at the pussy palace and you realise that Dickie can in fact still speak with animals, you just see him introspect for a moment, as if he needs to think about his life and make better choices. But then he looks at his dope new pussy palace and throws that all away and thinks about calling the rest of his pod over and like maybe sharing their thoughts in like some kind of a podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Hey,
tiny
bro.
little microphones.
At least you've got somewhere to hang out if you lose and get pregnant. Have fun, bud.
Everything should be about Baz.
He's the big bad at the end of the campaign now.
Yeah.
You insulted
The
him.
big bad evil Baz.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't just Google what snail sex looked like, and it's disgusting. Don't Google
Oh,
that.
jeez.
It's like they need to stab each
Lot
other
of sliming.
because they're hermaphroditic, isn't? Oh, aren't most snails hermaphroditic?
They have like a harpoon.
Yeah.
They've got like these
God.
weird twisty things.
Oh, that's
that's
like
really weird.
There's like one species of snail that I think is in Australia, where its
course.
genitals are like
Well, you know.
twice the size of it,
But it is Australia.
Same.
and it like
Yeah, so I think Baz is a real piece of work, but it's not. We're not nice to know. But in a world as misogynistic as 16th century England, that it's even trickled down to the snails.
Even
Yeah.
the snails are on it.
Well, maybe not all the hashtag not all snails.
no snails. Do you reckon the snail has the Omegaverse?
Oh,
I
Oh,
hope
for
not.
sure.
I want everyone watching this stream, because we're getting into it. We're in autumn now, like very comfortably in autumn, and I guarantee that at least one person, either in this stream or watching the YouTube later on, will in the next week or two tread on a snail after it's just rained, and they're going to feel super guilty about it. And I want that person to carry on living their life because they could have been a misogynist podcaster.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so Baz has given you directions to a town called Blytheborough.
Live, brah.
I think you would probably need to plan your route. So could someone make a survival check for me?
I guess I can try and make a way downtown.
Okay, so with a 20, This is obviously the south coast of Verticia. It's a place that Nycholas frequents a lot, and he knows it very well. He knows where all the back roads are, the roads less travelled. That way they can avoid being spotted by the bandits that make their homes in the forest, although you suspect that one of the bandits you're afraid of is now currently traveling with you. The only craw is you rolled a 20, didn't you? To get down to Blytheborough, there is no real accessible path that would be safe from bandits and larger towns, aside from one that goes through a very small hamlet called Whittown. Even though it's barely a collection of houses, you can assume that it's far enough removed from the rest of the world that they won't know who's currently on the run. They might know that someone is on the run, but with your survival check, you say out of all the places that routes you could take down to Blytheborough, which is a real place, by the way, a real place in Suffolk. Yeah. But no, that is probably the best route to take in terms of just crossing paths with people. Is that information that you relay on to the rest of the party?
So we can either go maybe get attacked by people, or we can go here and probably be safe. Like a good 80% safety.
Based on the information that Nycholas has shared with you, you know it's about an hour's walk towards the hamlet of Whittown. In the hour that you're walking towards Whittown, what would you guys typically be doing? You're moving across like dirt tracks and through various forests.
I think
I would definitely be
would-
like foraging, but like as I'm walking, like with the pack, like be like, oh, there's something on that tree there. Just throw over, grab it, and just shove it in my pocket, and then just walk back and be like, So,
what you guys all do before our meeting place?
Whatever
Well,
it is that ladies does, I suppose.
I used to pick up poo.
Uh,
Dickie says that, expecting them to be incredibly impressed because it's such a we just roll in the hunt. So I'm just like,
just look over, just like,
Why would you do that?
stable boy?
no, I was part of the hunt, and it's very important. They couldn't have done it without me.
The word stable boy like really crawls at you, because that is how Hurler would refer to you if he was trying to be derogatory. And so I imagine like the next hour is Dickie explaining actually the significance of dog poo on the hunt and why their job was so important.
I'm fully info dumping onto Nycholas.
Every so
Okay.
often, just complain about the shoes and how they're not as good as the old ones.
As it starts to rain, you see a small collection of houses, and the few residents of this small hamlet seem to all be gathered in the area between their various buildings and the one bar the one tavern that's there. You see 3 figures at the front, 2 cloaked men and 1 much smaller figure stood in between the 2 of them. You can hear a gaggle of like noises, people angry, you can hear sobbing. Can someone please make an insight check?
I'm pretty high at insight. Anyone better than a 4?
Okay,
Nick?
so I think
No.
if Nycholas is going to be the one who's making this insight check, you would have advantage on this roll.
Oh, great. That's some comforting information.
pretty good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
with a 17, you have seen gatherings you have been a part of gatherings like this. You have taken center stage while you declare someone based on the evidence before you for being a witch. You can start to make out the words that are being said. as you approach closer, everyone is too engrossed in the town's affairs to really notice four newcomers, as strange looking as they may be. Goody Agnes has been seen picking flowers. She arrived in this town at the same time as the Devil's Fingerprints did in our neighbours in Blytheborough. I therefore surmise that she is a witch. You get closer. As you move, you can see that the crowd is shouting and throwing things. The two men are holding like religious symbols, and they're wearing cloaks and garbs. There is a gallows that's been set up. If this is a trial, it's obviously not a very fair one. Can someone please make a perception check for me, if that would be okay?
I've got another 4.
Oh, dang.
Again, Nycholas, if you are to make this roll, you will do it with advantage.
Okay. I need to pick up persuasion at some point.
Even without advantage,
Numbers.
that's still a pretty good roll. But as you had advantage, that is a 21. You can see and you can make out, you know exactly what words to listen for in a trial such as this. The herbalism, not only of her family, but herself, chortling with glee at everything, as if it is brand new. Surely that of a bride of the devil would be just as enamored with our tiny little details. You can hear the uproar coming, and people like agreeing, even though nothing really seems to be giving any evidence. Since her and her family have arrived, the one they call Shuck has taken lives in the holiest of places in Blytheborough, and we are to be next. Who here says that Agnes Waterhouse should be hanged? The crowd starts to cheer. Something that Nycholas has noticed very quickly, and he would have done with a 21, is that unlike, aside from two people who are currently sobbing and being guarded, Agnes Waterhouse is the only person in this hamlet to have darker skin. Nycholas has seen enough of these to know that anything other in societies such as this is something that will get you immediately earmarked for being a witch. There are two older people stood there who are sobbing and have halberds pointed at them just outside of their own, what appears to be a chicken farm. The coop itself is bloody, showing signs of some kind of animal attack on the chickens themselves. So I will just quickly like to say that while this is not like what happened in real life, Agnes Waterhouse, the character here, is named for a real woman and the first woman to be tried and hanged as a witch in the UK in the village of Hatfield Peveril, just outside of Chelmsford. And so, in a way to honour people who have been killed unjustly, I have named characters for her. But the actual story of Agnes and her family is completely far removed. But I will just drop that little bit of information there.
Is she like about to be led to the gallows, or is it sort of like a point to look like, we've caught one type jobby?
It is very much a we've caught one, and the fact that the gallows there just makes their job a lot easier. It means they don't have to take her all the way to Coldwater for trial. They can just do it there. They can be judge, jury, and executioner if need be. Based on the reactions of the crowds, aside from notably two people who, as I've mentioned are crying and under guard, and also the only other two people with darker skin. Everyone else seems to be on the side of these men in what appear to be monks' robes.
I know this is. I don't know if this is. I don't know if you can technically do this. Can I use minor illusion to like make the monks look different?
Yeah, you could probably only do it on one, and it would also depend on how different you are making their faces look. Would you like to see a top-down view of this hamlet as it is currently laid out? Would you find that helpful?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, to get an idea of where we're all stood, kind of thing. Because I can also assist with that plan, because my plan was to hide in amongst the crowd and kind of start whispering that, like, oh, have you seen that monk's eyes? Oh, like I saw him doing this, or something like that, to try and like get some doubt going on in the crowd, kind of thing.
Yeah, like so
Okay.
discontent.
I think I shall assist with this plan.
Okay, so she's there.
And also, for the record, I'm in like in a human generic face that I've seen.
Visage.
Yes.
Do the people that are doing this look like official hunter type people, or is this more of a common people that have decided to do this?
Tell you what, can you please make an Arcana check with advantage? Because again, Nycholas has an extensive knowledge of this.
Roll okay.
What are the chances?
No, 6. They've changed their uniform.
Yeah, so they could possibly have changed their uniform since you left. This could just be zealotry and fear of locals in various different places. But from where you're stood currently, there is no way of knowing if this is through official channels or if this is just people wanting to use the witch hunts as a way to oust people who they deem they would rather not have in their society. If they could spray paint St. George's flags on things.
Hanging up flags out the windows.
Hot take number 6. Racism is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Careful, I'm going to get cancelled.
You are. You've got so many hot takes today.
Look at the air fryer.
Because I have ideas, or I have an idea of, like, if they're not official, I can try something. If they are official, I can do something, and it will go a very different way.
So, share the plan, because obviously you've got a bit of time before, or like while the crowds are riling up and are finding themselves angrier and starting to foam at the mouth. So share the plan with your handsome and iridescent team.
Because the idea that I have, I could pose as still being a witch hunter, and if we have convinced them of, or convinced the people that, you know, the trialers, I guess, I don't know how to refer to the two people, the two problems.
The bastards.
Yeah, the bastards.
Those people.
If we've convinced them that they're bad people, then that's definitely having a official one come in and, you know, like, absolve this are they a young girl, a woman?
It is a young girl of potentially between 9 and 11 years old.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, if
which
I can,
again I do appreciate is quite harrowing, but I think it's important to talk about the actual atrocities that did happen.
because if I can absolve the young girl of the suspicion of which, that at least can settle down the people. And then if these guys are official and I show my face, that's probably going to be a different problem because they're probably going to be more interested in getting me an escapee that was on the gallows and a betrayer of them.
So I suppose you have to ask
Which-
the question: is this girl's life worth your own?
Yes.
And there's your
No,
answer. right
I
there.
don't think that's a question for Nycholas.
It's a good egg.
So here's what I'm going to do. Eagle-eyed players amongst you may notice that I've locked the four of you into a combat encounter.
I'm saying I could perhaps. I have a signet ring that was perhaps a family emblem, if you will.
Mm.
Perhaps I could transform into my dad, alone into this witch hunt thing,
Oh.
Ooh.
and try
So the-
and pull rank on them, perhaps.
So there are two plans here. You've got sowing seeds of dissent and doubt of the vigilantes themselves, and you have trying to pull rank on them. What I'm going to need is one cohesive plan.
Well, I was thinking actually that me and Ollie could use our plan and just like reverse it. So instead of making the persecutors look evil, you could use your illusion to make the child look holy.
Oh, that's true.
Like make her like a glowing halo, and then I could go around trying to be like, oh my god, she has truly been saved. She has been saved by this noble man, and like try and sow seeds of inspiration.
I'm just imagining like that one scene from Aladdin where it's the genie going through the crowd, turning into different people.
It's absolutely gonna be Dickie. Can you believe this guy?
Okay, so if everyone could roll for initiative.
I mean, obviously, if you're happy with that, like doing that plan a bit differently, Ollie, I don't want to like take over.
No,
We're
that's
not
good.
doing it anymore.
That works too. Because like,
Yeah.
if it only works the other way, it only work on one guy, and
Yeah.
they don't. That would convince that might convince the crowd, but it might not. It won't convince the dudes.
This is why we workshop things. It's,
Yeah.
Green. Oh, 11. +2.
Okay, so I'm going to begin the encounter. It's a turn-based encounter that doesn't necessarily make it a combat encounter, but I am going to treat movement and all the other stuff that would typically come with a combat encounter as law for this. So up first is Lady Violet.
Seeing as I'm far back, I'm just going to dip behind this tree. I am going to transform into like my dad. I think that's a move. I'm going to have perhaps the cloak that I escaped in and my armor, but obviously not wearing a wedding dress. That would look rather silly, and would not be convincing
Like-
at all.
Costume party, Lord Redmond.
And kind of just shimmy with my signet ring, put it on my little pinky finger, and just
Okay.
observe and wait at the back to see what the others are doing.
With that, you transform, and as you mentioned in the last session, as easily as one would change posture, Lady Violet walks behind a bush, and Lord Russell emerges from the bush. Obviously, the rest of your party know. And is there anything that Lord Russell / Lady Violet will be?
I think
Doing?
she's just going to try and spend her time. She's kind of just nudging her teammates and say, "Hey, it's me," and I guess pass the turn to Elaris.
Okay. Elaris Vael. The man, the
Okay.
myth, the frog whisperer.
Whisperer of frogs. Okay, so I'll have to. If I move move to maybe sort of in between, somewhere like here.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it. And then I can use, if we're going to go with the plan of the minor illusion, I can use minor illusion because it doesn't have any, because I can do it silently because there's no verbal components. I can just sort of, as I'm walking forward, almost sort of do my sweet ninja moves, throwing up gang signs. And then this sort of like glow sort of emanates around her. And almost like, although it's sort of raining, like it almost seems like a light is coming down from the sky, like on her.
Okay. So this golden light is emanating from Agnes herself, and a beam from what appears to be a crack in the clouds above, just allowing one single beam of light to shine on top of her. Agnes doesn't react to this. She's looking down at the ground and maybe hasn't noticed. Everyone in the crowd stops for a moment, and she's summoning magics. You hear voices muttering like, is that holy magic or is that the wicked magic that we know her capable of? And you hear those kind of matterings, but they're not shouting anymore, they're discussing. You can see that the two people in the old chicken farm are agape at what is currently happening. Okay, is that everything that Elaris would care to do this time?
And then I guess I'll like just sort of whisper. I'll sort of like, as I sort of come closer, I'm almost like feigning shock of like, she must be one of the holy children. I've heard tales of them across the land.
Okay.
My travels.
Can I just get you to make a performance check for me? That's okay.
Yes.
Oh!
Yes, very
Oh,
nice.
goodness.
Critical success.
Right, I've had too many now. Like, where's my ones? They're coming. Did I click the weighted dice option?
If there's one takeaway from this campaign in general, is that if nothing else, Elaris Vael is capable. He is a very capable man. Okay, so the crowd around you seems to start, like, you see a couple of people drop to their knees and in fact start praying. They're either praying to Agnes herself or they're praying for some kind of forgiveness. Not everyone. There are still a few people like a bit further away from you who maybe can only get the gist of what you're saying and are more enthralled at the thought of getting rid of the ne'er-do-wells in their village. But I think a lot of people now are currently just on their knees praying to or for various things. Okay, and with that, I'm going to pass over to Nycholas.
How do the bastards look for this? How are they reacting?
So I think with Elaris's 20 and the spell that Elaris cast, they have taken a couple of steps back. They are panicking. They are clearly like they have whatever motive they have, and whether they thought they were generally doing the work of the church or if they were just giving into their own prejudices, they are definitely doubting whether they should be up the front, whether they are going to be on the right side of history as they view history to be written, which is obviously by the church in a time such as this.
I think I'll walk forward and do I disturb the scene?
I can come along and back you up, perhaps.
That would be good. So I think maybe waiting for Lady Violet, people might just straight up assume bodyguard because big strongman.
And a regal man stood next to the big strongman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
So
smart.
I think I'll wait to move up with Lady Violet, and if there doesn't seem to be immediate hostility, I don't think I need to jump into the fray and mess up the thing that Elaris has got going.
Okay. So right now you're surveying everything around. Okay, and then that brings us to Dickie.
Dickie, okay, so Dickie is going to move up in amongst these people, and I'm gonna sort of sneak up and whisper in their ear, just, the Holy One has come. This girl, she is a chosen Holy One, and just lots of gasping. It is her. We are to be saved. She is the chosen one. We are. She is the light. She is holy. She is good.
Okay, can you make a... I suppose you're technically acting, so this would be a performance check. I'm going to give you advantage because obviously Elaris has already laid quite a lot of groundwork.
Okay.
And, I mean, you're not trying to convince people of nothing. So with a 13, you say that, and as you say it, the old lady who's stood slightly in front of you turns her head, looks you dead in the eye and goes, "We all have the same eyes, dear," and just sort of gestures to this glowing young girl.
Damn old ladies.
Wow. Tough crowd. Jeez.
Who invited Mr. Narrator over here?
She's just like,
But at least with that, you can see that at the very least the people around you concur with what you're saying. You're not
Okay.
convincing them of anything new, but I mean, you're kind of. It's good to have things reaffirmed by other people,
yeah.
particularly in mobs such as these.
Times such as these. I'm not sure what else I want to do. So obviously it's not like combat, so it's a bit.
I mean, it can be if you want to shoot
I don't
someone.
want. No, I'm quite happy it not being combat.
I'm just saying, you guys have my permission to shoot people.
Okay, but
Just
don't shoot
everyone.
anyone. Just yeah, let's not jump as much as I would love to jump straight to shooting. And I
Just
just
kind of
started
blasting.
Like, all of this really nice, intelligent, like magic and like subterfuges have been placed. Just Dickie. Bruh, 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 bruh.
Just because like Dickie is also like quite short, so it would be very Danny DeVito-esque, the kind of nature in which he would do it. So yeah, I think I want to almost like try and blend back in with the crowd, so no one quite knows where the voice came from that they're listening to. I kind of just want to blend away.
So you are doing the genie from Aladdin, where you're
Yes.
going, where you're weaving through the
Absolutely.
crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that brings us back round to Lady Violet, who has currently taken the form of her father, Lord Russell.
I start stomping forward. The
Got
stomping,
stompers on. She's off.
acting all
Biggest
important,
boots.
and I kind of shuffle Nycholas forward with me.
As Nicholas,
And kind
as
of-
you didn't use any of your movement in your turn, I will say this is fine to move at this juncture.
Mhm.
And I'm going to march up to people. Oh gosh, that's a bit far.
You're just going to
Run
sprint
really
up and
fast.
just like
Just
rugby.
past them.
I am man and important. Get out my
Look,
way.
I have garlic crackers in my hand. They're incredibly important and very tricky to use a mouse with the same hand.
And I'm not putting the crackers down.
I'm not putting the crackers down, honestly.
Fair.
And I say, stop! I've been sent on orders to collect these people for questioning.
When you say these people, who do you gesture towards?
The family of Agnes, kind of Agnes and the
The
Waterhouses.
Waterhouses.
No,
Yeah.
Waterhouses, yes.
So, Lady Violet, could you please roll a performance check?
Can I give help?
You can. I think it would make sense for you to give help at this point as well, because you're.
What does that
I
mean?
think I.
And if you use the help action to assist someone, you can either give them advantage on their next ability check.
So, I think it's safe to say that
Okay.
a forgiving and all-loving DM would assume that that is what Nycholas did on his turn to allow Lady Violet to have advantage on this performance.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm rolling with advantage because that's definitely what Nycholas did.
I didn't say
Yep.
that I was an all-loving DM, but I am. Go ahead. To be fair, even your lowest roll would have come up as an 18, like 20, and dirty 20. So I think
Nice.
a 22 with a 22, everyone stops and they can see this very regal-looking gentleman. What kind of facial hair does Lord Russell have?
I think he's got I don't know what you call these, like a chin strap sort of
Chin strap?
situation.
Oh,
Okay.
And relatively close, well groomed, because I imagine he's got people that look after him quite a lot.
Yeah, he's got a perfectly groomed beard, and people can also see the telltale mark of a man with completely unblemished and untanned skin.
Yeah.
And his hands are as soft as a rose petal. This is a man who has never worked in a day in his life, and therefore must be the nobility. And everyone immediately stops, looks over at Agnes, looks at Agnes's parents, the Waterhouses. You see the two people at the front who are leading this trial, quote unquote trial, a witch hunt, if you will. Sort of step back. They're not sure. They look at each other. And with that, I think I'm going to end the encounter. Because I don't think there's anything more that Yol could do to successfully convince these people any further. I think you have done a very good job. So from there, Agnes is now unguarded. She's still glowing with the light of Elaris's minor illusion. People are now revering her, and they're all just trying to step back because obviously they've tried to, as far as they can see, try and sentence something godly and holy to death in their small village, and with that would come an ounce of fear. I think Lady Violet in the form of Lord Russell, or Nycholas as Lord Russell's pretend bodyguard, everyone would be looking to you two to see how you handle this girl and what your next step is.
I think I would like to sort of wave off the hooded folks. Perhaps, I'm assuming, is she shackled in some sense?
No, not in any kind of. She's kind of like being held there by men who are much larger than her, and the fact that her parents are being guarded by people who have farming equipment that's been repurposed as weapons is like enough to keep
Okay.
her in place.
Come with me, young lady.
She
We'll go get your parents.
She comes towards you and looks at her parents, who are still being guarded and have weapons pointed at them. Nycholas, is there any way that you would interact with the parents, or at least open up a path, or anything like that?
Yeah, I think just walking up to them, kind of in the way that I'm walking, suggesting that the people that are currently guarding them get out the way. Is this your house you're standing in front of?
They just look. No.
Do you own a house here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that my lord would much prefer to get out of this rain as we have our discussion.
He sort of nods and he grabs his mate by like the cuff of his sleeve and yanks him just to the other side of the hamlet. You see a path open up between Agnes and her family home. As she slowly walks, she sees the gentle smiles of the four strangers who are now in her small hamlet, people she's never seen before, and she doesn't know what's going to happen next, but she knows, thanks to the four of you at least, she sees a weird little man running around in the crowd who is now stopped and is like kind of waving. Having not interacted with society for such a long time, seeing this little girl stand up taller, still with the glow from her sort of fading now as she moves away from the sight of your spell. Nycholas, arms folded and just keeping an eye on the two men who you've ushered away. And Lord Russell, I imagine, given Lady Violet's history, I think seeing a young lady become free would... what kind of emotion would that elicit in Lady Violet?
I think it'd be quite a caretaking, like a in a role of the wishing, you know, there was someone there that would have helped her do this as well. So she would be quite protective and try to be quite gentle, because I can imagine it's quite a scary situation being stuck up there, having all just experienced, you know, nearly being hung. Just with a lot of sympathy. And I would also be, you know, kind of having a bit of bravado about people putting their weapons down. Goodness me, you silly peasants.
So I think from the eyes of this 10-year-old girl, I know I said she's between 9 and 11, I've just settled on 10 now.
10 is between 9 and 11.
It's
so...
the most between.
Yeah.
The way she sees it, she sees this tall, regal-looking man, like, look angry at everyone in her small hamlet. And then, but every time he makes eye contact with her, just a smile and a genuine warmth. She also notices a flicker of the colour of your eyes, as if she can see that the eye colour that you're showing now is not your own eye colour. A path is open, and with that, she runs into the arms of her sobbing and elated parents who, upon seeing her, grab her by the shoulders and hold her so tightly. The mum weeping, tears streaming down her face in a mix of laughter and crying that she is just holding her little girl again. The father comes up. He looks to Lord Russell / Lady Violet. Drag King Lord Russell. I think from now on, I'm going to refer to Lady Violet's forms that she takes as a changeling as drag.
They're drag
Yes.
personas.
The drag persona. So the current drag persona. He turns to you. We do not have anything to give you as thanks. But please, if there is anything of mine that would be yours, I would be honored to give it to you and more. My daughter is the only treasure that we managed to bring with us from our home. And knowing she is safe thanks to you, and obviously your bodyguard, is there anything you need from me?
Perhaps you should just dip inside somewhere so I can ask some questions. Come.
You step into their house. You're inside the house. You can see it's meager. You can see that the large part of the building, maybe in an attempt to make money, the family has brewed their own beer and have made a makeshift ale house. I apologize for my meager home, but what is it you would ask of me? Immediately, you notice Agnes is going, and she's just playing with her doll. That's been whittled like straight as if nothing has happened. She's just playing, and her mum is just sat on her knees, just as close to Agnes as she could possibly get, without encroaching on Agnes playing with her doll.
I am perhaps concerned for my daughter's welfare, so I understand how worried you must have been seeing your daughter up there being persecuted. I will ensure and endeavour that does not happen again. I don't suppose you know of any dogs around these parts?
He looks at you. Delilah, my love, please take Agnes to her room to make sure she is more comfortable and out of those rain-drenched clothes. Agnes picks up her doll and skips to the tiny little enclosed area that has become a makeshift bedroom for her. He looks sheepish as he comes close to you. He's like, but the man paid me not to say anything. However, a few coins is nothing against the weight of my own daughter's life. So yes, I am aware of the dog that currently terrorizes Blytheborough. The one the man said was called Shuck. As Dickie hears the word Shuck, you know Shuck from your time as the dog wrangler for Hurler. Shuck is the most aggressive, the largest. Even for like a Fey hellhound, he towered above all of them and was aggressive, and he would barely even listen to Hurler. So just shivers run down your little elven spine, your little fairy spine.
Yeah, I think when Dickie goes into the home, he's just like whistling, going, "Oh, this is nice." Like he's genuinely impressed with how, like, just picking up things and being like, they've got metal to pick up food and put into their mouth. How regal. And just like is absolutely impressed with how this place is just so posh and fancy. Like he's absolutely blown away. But when they hear the word like shuck, they're just like, they stop everything and just listen very closely.
So Mr. Waterhouse, who I don't know if anyone in chat wants to come up with a first name for him, please, that would be super helpful because that is not something I wrote down.
FantasyNameGenerator.com.
It's a better way to name somebody more important than what I do. I just mash syllables together until I'm like, yeah, that.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, it's Schlimble.
Barry.
Okay, so this session, just to be clear, we have had a Baz and a Barry. So to use, okay, so
He was Sebastian.
no, he was
different.
Sir Bastian. Bastian was his name, and
Oh.
he shortened it to Baz.
What is Barry short for? Is it short for anything?
Barreled.
Baraffin.
So, I'm sorry, I'm going to take Barry, but I'm going to run with it and say that his name is Barreled. Barreled Waterhouse. So Barreled turns to you and he sits you down in what appears to be the bar area where there are seats, and he describes a meeting that took place where a man dressed in fineries, spouting his name, met with one of the clergy's soldiers. You can see that, having come to Britannia quite recently, Barreled doesn't have like a super great grasp on Common as a language. He can speak it, but he doesn't quite speak with the nuance you would expect a native Britannian to speak. He kept shouting his name and kept demanding payment from the church soldier. They both laughed and drank ale and smiled, and they stood as if holding knives behind their back the entire time, but a chain and shackle for a dog or hound was passed from one to the other. 'Twas glowing green, like an alchemist's fire. Even though he doesn't quite like know all the words for like subterfuge and ambivalence, he does know alchemy, which is an odd frame of reference for him to know, but you know, we only know what we know. The man's name, it is, 'twas a colour.
Red, blue, green.
Red, you're
Red.
right.
Red.
Lord Redmond. And with that, we're going to end chapter 2 of The Hunt, a 5e adventure set in a dark fantasy version of Tudor/Stuart England. I'm a little bit wishy-washy with when it's set, whatever's coolest.
Tudor.
Yeah, let's go with Tudor, but I suppose, yeah, we can bring things forward a few years. I mean,
The start of the witch hunts was Tudor, so
yeah, it started under Queen Elizabeth. I have a few stars. The first star is obviously to all of you guys. I think you have used, more than your skills, you have used your character's backstory as a way to sort of facilitate every action that you take, and it's very rare to see that that some people are either entirely backstory based or they're entirely mechanical, and the four of you together are very good at meshing the two into like, okay, no, this is what my character would do, and this is how they would do it. My other stars go to Hero Forge for providing such fantastic minis for me to make the artwork from, and Sirenscape for the music that has been underlying this entire session. It's all license free, can be used for streaming and for YouTube VODs, which if you hang around for a couple of days, you can stay tuned for that. And the last and most important star, obviously, goes to all of you who watched and chatted with us and joined in and became part of the hunt. If I had more confidence.